Hi, everybody. It's Christina Quick, the Tarot Biz Mentor here from the Profitable Psychic Divination and Business Academy. I'm so excited to be with you today. I have a special guest, Mario Zeleny. So Mario is a very, very dear and near friend of mine. We've been working together for about 2 years, almost 2 years now, Mario.
Oh, yeah.
So you were in the Make Tarot Your Business course with me, and then you came over to the Market Yourself as a Spiritual Life Coach course with me over there. So it's been about 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And Mario is an alumni. He's a graduate. So basically what that means is that when you graduate the program with me, you get to participate in summits. So we do 2 summits per year. We do the Summer of Magic, and we also do the 12 Days of Christmas. And so many of you will know Mario from doing those events. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you. It looks like we have some people starting to come in now. Always takes a minute for people to come in. Good to see you. So if you are here live, let me know. Comment below. If you're here, happy Friday. Mario is joining us today because we're going to be talking about something really, really important. And that's about diversity. So Mario has done several of the summits with me, and I asked him earlier this year, that because we needed someone to start doing summits around Samhain, because Samhain is such a really, really big time of the year for spiritual folks. And I've worked closely with Mario for the past couple of years, and I just felt intuitively that Samhain was going to be his jam, because last year, so if people don't know about your business, you actually have a magical shop, and you put together these fantastic gift boxes, curated gift boxes that people can purchase. But you also offer tarot readings and spiritual life coaching, and you also sell courses and things like that too. But last year, do you remember you came out with a Halloween box last year that I just fell in love with? I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So I knew that you were the right person to ask when it came to doing the Samhain Summit this year. So when I begged you, please, Mario, please do this, what were you kind of thinking? How was it kind of tie into what you were already doing?
Oh, wow. It ties in exactly. So it's about celebration. It's about acknowledgement. It's about experiencing something from a different perspective and surrounding yourself with the things that will support that. And it's about a personal transformation. But in particular for Samhain, for Halloween, you really pegged me right on. You really, and that's really interesting because my ritual tea boxes are so personal. And Samhain means actually a great deal to me simply because of my experiences as a child. And for me, Samhain is one of those holidays where a child has way more contribution than just about any other folk magic kind of holiday. I mean, they're trick-or-treating, they're costume planning, they're making their pumpkins. And the other 2 major ones are a little lighter with the child's contribution. So that ended up being a very pivotal holiday in changing my perspective on ordinary life. And
so would you say inner child work is really important to you? Is that kind of where that kind of ties in?
It does. It does. Inner child work, it does, definitely. And
so tell us a little bit about what your business is. What do you actually do? What is Tarot and Ritual?
Tarot and Ritual is a combination of divination and in this case, I specialize in tea, but welcome and celebrate all kinds of different rituals. And this would be a tea ritual. And in our box, we put all the supportive kind of ingredients as you would a magic spell. And so when you open our box, you're opening up, the building blocks of your own magic spell through a tea ritual, which in fact, when I haven't gotten into this as deeply as I want, is very similar to a lot of the rituals that people do who are called to it, alternative spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got the 4 directions in there. We've got a lot of the elements. We draw on angels as well as different kind of archetypes and spirits. So, and the other thing, sometimes it's not necessarily a goal.
Hmm.
It is in personal empowerment by treating yourself, and that is probably one of the main focuses of our ritual tea boxes, is putting yourself first.
Yeah,
And
so self-care is super important, right? That's kind of like your approach to ritual. That's kind of what makes you different from, say, someone else is putting together some type of box or teaching about ritual. You come more from a self-care kind of perspective, right?
yeah, self-care, self-transformation. If you're not first, you're going to
Hmm.
be last. It's really hard to be there for others if you're not there for yourself first.
Hmm.
And for me, it's just about every aspect of life, that we need to consider about where we are and how we are and taking care of ourselves. And our ritual tea box focuses in on that. And
Hmm.
that's one of so you don't have to go out and try to focus in on it, in getting those elements and trying to put it together. We put it together for you. And of course, how you relate to all those elements is strictly individual. So your ritual will also be individual, even if you join me, like we are going to have an opening ritual for the Samhain Summit, and it will be a tea ritual. If you want to participate, you can bring your teas and participate like that, or participate in the manner that you are accustomed. We welcome all of that. But even though we may be sharing the same elements, our experiences will be totally unique and a real gift. And those experiences relate back into stories, and sharing those stories and how pivotal and life changing those stories are. We bring that story with us into everything we do,
Hmm.
whether we speak that story or not. And so, in some ways, it's like, what stories fill you? What stories are you getting from your rituals, your guides, that kind of thing, your stories of your experiences on that level, and how important it is to be able to not only carry that with you, but also be able to share that with others. It's very life transforming for me in particular. And I
It
have to
sounds
say,
like you actually it sounds like you free up people's energy. Like this is what you kind of do for people. You free up people's energy so they don't have to go around and scout out all these like exotic ingredients or, put the creative aspect to it where
right.
you kind of help people free up that energy. You take over with the creative aspect of it. And then what you do is you just allow people to have that experience, right?
Exactly, exactly. And we really do try to, when we put together our boxes, to come up with the elements that will support you in a way that we generally have in common. So while here, I'll give you an example. So this is our
Mm,
jack o' lantern teacup, and it happens to have some tea in it.
lovely.
How you experience a jack-o'-lantern is different than the way I experience, but it's a shared experience. And a lot of what we share, we do have in common. And then of course it goes off into individual. So it's actually really magical to hear about people's different experiences with our boxes, and how they interact with all the elements and how the elements support them. And one in particular will be really interesting to those who have received our Carnival of Soul boxes that's available this month and through November, is things like the popcorn tea and
Hmm.
the carnival incense, which smells like caramel apples and cotton candy and fried food,
Hmm.
to bring in that spirit, that experience. So we're really looking forward to see how people respond to that and what happened for them.
I love that. And so you also do tarot readings and tarot and life coaching and tarot coaching too. So what kind of readings do you offer and what kind of life coaching do you do?
Um, a lot of the life coaching centers around personal transformation,
Mm,
and using ritual to get there. But I think the big message for us is it's not the big thing, it's the small thing.
right.
So it's the small thing that makes the difference. And in some aspects, it depends on what culture you're from and your frame of reference. But for me, the tea ritual is personal and it's small. You are drinking and making tea with those things that support your intentions, or your state of mind, or the state of mind you wish to have.
Mm,
And how can you use that to get through blocks, and start moving things in the direction of something that's life affirming, that's healing, so people can stop maybe cycling, in
yeah.
the same
Yeah,
place.
absolutely. And you're
And
no
it's
stranger to transformation too, right? Like you've gone through a lot of things in your own life and gone through a lot of many healing journeys in your own life. So can you tell us a little bit about your own story when it comes to transformation and why this is such an important thing for you to do for the world?
Ritual has been pivotal
Mm,
in getting through some really, really tough circumstances that have affected me on every level.
mm,
And, that could be through weight loss. I was 140 pounds overweight, have been overweight all my life. And I still carry that extra poundage, but not to the degree that I once did.
mm,
Uh, and my health was really suffering for it. To actually make a permanent weight loss transformation is a challenge.
yeah,
And it is not easy. And we all face very similar blockages, but they're also unique.
yeah.
And it's something that you can't just decide, I'm going to go on this diet and I'm going to lose this weight and it's going to be permanent. There is so much more behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
I think that's where our ritual box comes in. We're addressing those things behind the scenes in a gentle way.
That you might not even be aware that's really going on. Because if
Yeah.
you've been like, let's just use the diet example. If you've been yo-yo dieting for many, many years now, you'll get some success, like, and then you kind of fall off and go back to old patterns, and then have to restart. And so, like what you said, there's a lot of patterns that are going on behind the scenes that we may not be aware of. And it's never about the thing that we're trying to manifest. It's always about the
Yeah.
other things that kind of go on in the background. Like, for
Hmm.
example, am I worthy of losing weight? How will people feel about me when I lose weight? Will they treat me differently? There's all of these background things. And so what I
Hmm.
love about your approach to coaching and doing the boxes and supporting people energetically through their transformational journeys is that you're giving people the opportunity kind of in today's world kind of slow down, take a
Yes.
moment, engage the senses. And really what it does is it kind of brings the mind and the body and the spirit kind of into this cohesion. And when you are in that cohesion, do you agree that there's this immense amount of clarity there that you might have not had you not done this experience through this ritual?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the more you do the ritual, the more clarity. I mean, it really is about wading in
Hmm.
rather than diving in. Now, that I have to confess, I'm a diver.
Hmm.
Okay. And I will definitely take my vacations and dive in. You know, it's something that I'm doing less of. And I think
Hmm.
that's where the ritual tea boxes come in. It is more gentle because diving in really deep to all that background stuff that's holding you back can actually overwhelm you, can actually
Hmm.
create a lot of setbacks. Now, if you're a tough person and you faced a lot of fears before, that might be able to work for you. But I gotta let you know something. I'm tired and I'm getting older, and I think I'm done with the wild. Let's blow this stuff up,
Yeah.
kind of aspect, and more into the gentle. Let's get there a little bit at a time, and then also a slowing down now.
Mhm.
And the other thing is that there is actually so much that can be going on for us. We can become overwhelmed and only grab onto a few pieces. Going a little slower, we can actually get in a little deeper, in a little safer way, and become gradually used to what we're dealing with, and allow create this room for spirit to be able to work with us in how to get through it. And what do we really feel? How do we really feel? How do we really think? So much of what we say is, off the top of our heads. Sometimes we have to take a step back and say, do I really think that way? Do I really feel that way?
Yeah.
Is it more of an expression of a feeling, or is it really an expression of a core value that I didn't know that I had, that's actually blocking my progress? That's a lot of deep stuff right there. That's a lot of therapy right there. I don't know about you, but I don't have years to work out my blocks.
Yeah. And you know what's really cool too is that part of the boxes that you put together. So people are probably wondering, how does that translate? How do I make a pot of tea? And then how do I have that clarity? Well, you actually include in your boxes an oracle message for people to actually sit and meditate on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you bring up, so if people are like, okay, I'm not really sure what I really want to meditate on, or I'm not really sure what I need clarity on. So you help people in that regard too, is that you actually give them a message to reflect on, and it can kind of be a doorway, a symbolic doorway, a psychic gateway to help them activate their own intuition, and whatever flows from that is what bubbles up to the surface, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it definitely it is a gateway, as is a lot of those things in that box, is a gateway to engage you, or try to engage you on every level. But the wonderful thing is that we can all approach it in our own unique way. Your tea ritual is unique to you. I help give you the tools. One of those tools is divination. Tea and divination have gone together for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
They just have. And tea actually creates a wonderful atmosphere, receptive. It gets you ready, and wonderful things can happen. The tea ritual actually can be formulated to do many different things, and I guess that's one of the reasons why I promote it so highly, because it is so flexible and so adaptable, and it meets you where you're at. And definitely, and we take it further. And I think the summit is one of the ways that we're taking our boxes that step further.
I love it. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the summit first. Just a second though. I just wanted to shout out to Erica and Marlena. Hey ladies, thank you for joining us. If you are here live during the presentation, please go ahead and just say hello in the comment box. Let us know you're here. We'd love to give you a shout out and say hello. So we're doing the Samhain Summit. That's coming up in 2 weeks. No, 1 week. That's next week. Or next week. Okay, we're starting Monday. All right.
Starting Monday the 26th to the 30th.
So the theme this year is the Carnival of Souls, but more specifically, the theme that you set out for us as teachers and people that are going to be lending our energy to this summit and creating this magical space is actually about folk magic. And so at the heart of what I really wanted to talk about today with you, Mario, is about the importance of celebrating diversity through folk magic and why representation in folk magic really matters. So why was it that folk magic was the theme that you really wanted to go with? What is the background information on that?
Folk magic got brought up because of the time of year that in the name of the summit. So that was the first place to go. But quite honestly, it's the impact that folk magic has had. And one of those impacts is Samhain, is Halloween. Huge, huge impact on people. Lifelong impact, something that keeps impacting, but that can change and morph and adapt every single year. It has been pivotal for a lot of people. People feel that they have found home. and the spirit of Halloween and Samhain. And that's huge, as well as the other major holidays. Major holidays here in the West and how we celebrate them are basically all based in folk magic.
Yeah.
And that the whole thing has led to we've all been affected by folk magic. We've all been influenced by folk magic. We have all participated in folk magic to one degree or another, with probably there's probably a few people out there that
There's a big movement going on right now where people are kind of stepping away from this organized religion and they're going back to their roots. And depending on your heritage, you have ancestral roots in specific folk magic traditions. And I've found that a lot of people, especially people of color, are starting to go back to their ancestral traditions and starting to explore that. And so it's just so important for me personally to do an event like this and to be around different people's homes when it comes to their magical practices, because I think that communicating and interpersonal skills is a great thing. Everybody should have that. But how do you really know someone that is different from you culturally, and societally, and all of their values and things like that? How do you know that person intimately, right? And it starts, in my opinion, through understanding their ancestral traditions. What do you think?
Definitely. And if there's any time where that comes up for people, even if they don't know it, is the time on the major holidays, especially Samhain, because of all that got built up in the background of our Western lives. I can really only speak for the Western perspective because that's the one I have. But definitely it brings us back to our origins, but at the same time also introduces us to the traditions and the culture of a lot of other people and the richness that is there. Whether we dive into our ancestry or we dive into the traditions and culture of someone else, there are huge transformational gifts that are there for anyone who is willing to be open and embrace that. What ends up happening is it ends up becoming really personal, and it ends up adding meaning and fulfillment to our life that we perhaps never expected. But we get to know them better and we get to know ourselves better. And in turn, our perspective changes and we open up to more possibilities than we ever did before. And finding gifts there that we may have not have ever imagined. And that's been my experience with folk magic. And and
it
that's
really
what
breaks down the walls and borders that we've kind of created around, because everybody gets in their own little bubble. We get in our bubble, we stay in our bubble. But going to an event, especially a free event like this, which is incredibly valuable, you're doing this for free, right? So this is something that you're not charging for. People don't have to pay a ticket price to get in. So, anybody can come, and really it's an open invitation to everybody to come in and just see what else is out there, explore, connect with people intimately. And we live in an age now, we live in the time now where I think we're more conscious than ever about how representation really matters in the spiritual community, in the spiritual spaces, especially online, especially after what's been going on over the last 5 years. That it's been going on much more longer than that, but it's been brought to the collective consciousness. And so now we are almost like deprived of leaders and experiences that are diversity minded and inclusive, because that's the next level. That's the next step right now, to really, for us to go to that 5D, right, is to incorporate the larger sphere of the magical spaces and not make them so Euro white centric, but also inviting and opening our spaces to other people who have been, let's be honest, their folk magics have been villainized. They have been ostracized from those folk magics. They have been told that it's wrong or that it's satanic or evil or demonic, and they have been forced and shut out of that. And I think that, one of the least that we can do as, you know, people, leaders in this industry, is say, you know, we're not doing that anymore. That's wrong, that we're not doing that. We're not tolerating that, and actively coming up with solutions like a summit that focuses on ethnic and different variations of folk magic based on ethnicity and locality and region and things like that. What do you think about all that?
I think that's a huge subject.
Yeah.
And we could go on for hours and days and write many volumes of books.
Yeah.
And the simplest thing that I can say is that everyone deserves a home. Mm-hmm. Everyone deserves community. Everyone deserves to belong. And in the world, there always has been and probably always will be places where we are ostracized, internally, externally, judged, alienated. And I just don't believe in a world like that.
Yeah.
Folk Magic does not believe in a world like that. And that's a hope. One of the things I hope to actually be able to deliver in terms of an experience over the next summer, over the next week in the summit with all of the wonderful presenters that we have, is that there is room at the table for everyone, and everyone has value. Everyone has something wonderful to contribute in their own unique way, and we're going to challenge that. I don't know about the other presenters, but I do know about me. I'm going to challenge people about that, because I'm going to actually dive kind of deep in. It's like, no, this is what these people were doing in this day. And it still has, it might sound ridiculous to you, but this does still have bearing right now, today. And this is how. And this is how. There is some crazy, crazy stuff that is totally alien in that experience, that is absolutely mind-blowing and wonderful when you can get past the judgment, the fear, the or the unique perspective, especially from other cultures and from the past, that we do not have that experience, and we need to, for a moment, for a time, experience that. This was the conditions of the people at the time. And what I found, and then people start understanding a little bit more about why things were the way they were and how things were interpreted the way they are. But then past that, there is actually a deeper meaning, and there is stuff still applicable today. And that is exactly the same thing that we have in our interpersonal relationships, from culture to culture, country to country. We have things that are alien, that are foreign, that are sometimes even shocking, that we can't relate to or even understand. But taking,
do you think it creates like a fear?
It's a fear, definitely. It's all fear-based, definitely, all fear-based. You know, the unknown. The unknown. We feel as human beings, we don't know things. We tend to do our investigation, find out, ask questions. The thing of it is we fill in the blanks, and we fill in the blanks with our filters and our assumptions.
Inaccurate information.
And Folk Magic and our summit asked us to take a step back and just welcome the difference.
Marlena says so true. She's really, really looking forward to the event. Kirsten is here. Freya is here. Robert is here. Hi, guys. Welcome. Thanks for chiming in and letting us know that you are here. We really appreciate you coming to the conversation today. So tell us about some of the topics that are coming up next week in the summit. I know that I'm personally going to be speaking about German American folk magic. So, and you know, I have to really thank you, because you talk about, I want to challenge myself. Let me tell you, this has been the most personally challenging summit that I've ever done, because I had to take it very seriously, and I had to come at it from like almost an academic sort of approach, right? I had to really turn my inner child, like scientist, explorer kind of mind on, and challenge myself to, you know, drop any preconceptions I had about German American folk magic. And it's interesting, a lot of the things I found out that I thought I knew were actually inaccurate and wrong. And I don't think I would have ever gotten so deeply into German American folk magic if it had not been for you hosting the summit. And I know every single person that's going to be presenting. Marissa's here. She's going to be presenting at the summit. Marissa says, so true. It's going to be fun already. It's already a carnival, right? And
Yeah.
so I know all of the other presenters are challenging themselves in the same way. And I think that's wonderful. So what are some of the other traditions and topics do we have to look forward to next week?
Wow, we actually have a lot of diversity, which I absolutely adore. So we've got a lot of hoodoo, and that is a special love for me. I got to tell you, hoodoo and voodoo are really traditions that are close to my heart. So I am looking forward to that. And those are huge, big subject with a lot. I mean, there is a lot in there. So we have Leonie, and she's going to talk about it from a more sexual and relationship point of view. So that
super excited about Leonie's. Yes.
Yeah. So that is actually great. And I'm so glad that she stepped up to the plate so we can actually take it to the next level. Let's get real with this.
And LaTanya is going to be talking about hoodoo from a Black woman perspective,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And how many times okay. From my point of view and my little culture of my own world, how many times do I get to experience that? I don't. And so I'm really looking forward. That's going to be a huge gift for me. I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see. I'm doing staves from Iceland. So it is a type
Got
of
me off on
magic
a little rabbit trail talking about that because I was like, "Ooh, that's interesting. I need to go look into that." Yeah.
Oh my, and every single one of these are almost like a rabbit hole for us. We get to go on a journey, and then we get to come back and share that with you. And why? So there, once you got into all the academic ideas and dealing with all of that, you end up coming back out going, oh my God, there's something greater here. And that's with the staves, because the staves is a symbolic magical language that, quote unquote, nobody knows what they mean.
Right.
And that is probably what drew me in first. It's like, oh, really?
Marissa said, I wouldn't have dived as deeply into Swedish folk magic without participating in the summit. Yeah, so I think we're all on the same page. This is really challenging because you and I were talking at the very beginning. We were talking about what is important. How do we really want to present this? And you and I both agreed that accuracy was going to be the most important thing about this, because we didn't want a whole bunch of people coming on and talking about things they don't know about. That doesn't serve anybody, right?
Right.
And so from the very beginning, there has been this energy of, I need to do this well, and I need to do this accurately. And, we'll have fun doing it too. But we want to also present information that, it's not been like washed over by Euro ideals and things like that. We wanted to present information that is as raw as it is and in its natural state. And I think that's what's so special. It's not like we're getting together and just talking about our opinions about certain things. We're actually presenting information as if you would take a cultural diversity and magic class at like a university or something like that. It's a very, very high level summit that we are bringing, and you can get your free ticket today. There is no cost to get into this. And in fact, Mario, you've been doing giveaways all week, and we still even have more giveaways to do next week. And every single presenter is going to have a free gift that they're giving out. And then I know I'm going to be giving away, I don't have it in here, it's in my bedroom, but I'm going to be giving away a book, and because you have a gift basket, like we've all compiled gifts, and once someone's going to win that. But I'm also going to be giving away a book on German folk magic while I'm actually doing my presentation, and many other presenters are going to be doing similar things as well, right?
Definitely. So and usually all those flash giveaways are somehow related to the topic that we're talking about. So whoever's the winner gets that little extra thing to take them on their own journey. But also, as we take you on ours, we invite you to take your own. And so that's probably one of the biggest and most wonderful. We're almost like a travel guide,
Mhm.
a travel agent for spirit. And,
That's
like
really funny. I didn't think about it like that, but that's actually very, very true. You're going to be like from your own home, you're going to be visiting different faraway exotic cultures that maybe you didn't really know much about. And so, yeah, especially now in this world that we live in now, the virtual community is so important. And what better way to spend your time in community as, actually kind of astral traveling through different cultures and regions of the world and visiting different spaces. Love that.
right. Exactly. And then hopefully we can inspire people to take journeys of their own.
Mm.
Um, and there is great rewards here. And it's so magical. So we're hoping that, yeah, we're kind of spirits travel guides. And we're going to introduce you to different ways that you can travel the world without leaving your home through a ritual tradition and immersing yourself in another perspective. But ultimately, where that pays off for us is that we get gifted with new insights, new rituals, new traditions that end up becoming our own folk magic. They end up becoming our own. We don't necessarily, we may start out imitating
Yes,
someone's
we all do
tradition.
that, and nobody should feel guilty about doing that because we
No,
all do that. Yep.
we all do. We all do. It's what we do as human
Yeah.
beings. We create, we learn, we experience, and we share, and we start that all over again. And we like when we see something we like, we imitate it, and we imitate it until it becomes something uniquely our own.
Mhm.
And it is exactly that is folk magic.
It
That
is.
right there, right there.
That is the spirit, that is the essence of folk magic. So
Right.
everybody can get their free ticket. I've put the ticket into the chat box. If you're watching this on YouTube as a replay, then there will be in the description box and in the pinned comment a link to grab your free ticket. All you do is you sign up, and that ensures that you get entered. What you have to be on the mailing list in order to be entered into some of the giveaways. Okay, so that's the importance. And plus, it will give you notifications about what's coming up on what day, and all of those questions that you have. And then from there, you will be invited to the private SAMHAIN Spirit Carnival of Souls group, where all of the presenters are in, and there's they're going to have like all of the replays up for a period of time. Those will all be located in the group. You can come in and you can actually chat with the presenters. So the way that I do summits and the way I train my clients and students to do summits is completely different than how anybody out there does summits. For me, summits are all about the connection, and I want people to be able to actually connect with their teachers. How many summits have you been where you're just invited to listen to an interview and you have no way of actually asking questions? You have no way of interacting beyond that point, right? So the reason why we do the summits like we do them in the groups is because I want people to have access to the presenters, to be able to ask questions, get to know people's energy. That is so important, especially right now. Community is so, so important. So you can get your ticket. It's free. Go to the link, sign up, get into the group. You're done. But if you want to go a step further, if you want a totally immersive experience, Mario has put together 2 levels of his world famous ritual tea boxes. I actually have one of the tea boxes in front of me, and I thought it would be fun, Mario, if we could kind of go through the tea box together and kind of
Sure.
show people what's in the box, because I know people are very interested in the box, especially after hearing about it. But I think if we can give them, a tangible experience of what you actually get, then I think people will understand it a little bit more. So this is the box. This is the large box. Okay.
There's the
So,
large. Sorry.
oh, you're fine. So this is the large box. It's quite large. It's quite heavy. Okay. So you open it up. Marlena says, I just got my ticket. Great
Yay!
job, Marlena.
Thank you, Marlena.
Shelly says, develop your own relationship with spirit. Absolutely love your ritual tea box. Marissa says, and so much cool free stuff being a giveaway. And Mario's tea boxes are brilliant. They really are. I have a lot of boxes that I get And honestly, Mario's box is like one of the very, very best ones that you can get. So just to save time, I'm not going to go through like every little thing, because I want some things to kind of be a surprise for you to go through when you get your box. So you open up the box, and the very first things that you get, see if I can do this. This is really challenging my coordination right now.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I haven't been doing it, because it's so challenging.
It is. So you get this cloth here, right? And this is like a tea towel. But you know, it's a very, very thick material. But I was like, this is a tarot cards cloth.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, wow, that's a twofer, right? Because I was like, that's a tarot card cloth. So you put down the cloth, right? And then you give this fabulous pumpkin cozy. So you have the cloth down, and then you put the cozy over it, and you're already setting the mood, because then you'll be able to see the spider webs around and the cloth behind, and you have this little cozy. And this is a very, very thick little tea cozy. It's beautiful, little placemat. Okay. The first thing you notice when you open the boxes, though, is the smells. Okay, so we were talking about incense earlier. Mario is the king of incense. I've told him this many, many times now. I don't know anybody who does incense as good as Mario. I'm like a fiend for his incense. He's very, very good at doing incense. You get this huge packet of incense. There's 2 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get 7 bags. So you get 14 total incense. And the incense are aptly named. They're so cute. You have Carnival, Black Cat, Crone, Black Hat Mist, Jack-o'-lantern, Party at the Crossroads, and Cauldron. If you get this, let us know which one's your favorite. Carnival is my favorite. It just smells so good.
It's hard not to like the Carnival.
I know. I just want to walk around and just smell it. But that's the first thing that hits. Okay. And then you also get a bag of different themed teas. Okay. So there's multiple teas inside of here. And it's the Carnival of Souls teas. And I have not opened the tea bag. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight, because I want to get my figure out which one I want to start with. Okay. So you get a bag of teas, and talk to us a little bit about these teas. What makes them so special?
Well, in terms of the 5 teas in there, those were custom designed specifically for this box by Design a Tea. I've worked with Design a Tea since 2012. I highly recommend them. They will make up your own mixture of tea for you.
And I love that.
Yeah, they have huge lists of herbs and spices and other kinds of elements that you can add, and different kind of tea bases, herbals, as well as traditional teas. Then we also have 2 teas from another company, but all the teas' energies were read with tarot cards and have been named after tarot cards. And we're hoping that that energy reading helps you also to pair it with the incense. Incense and tea are 2 traditions that emerged at the same time in history and are very much related. How you want to put those together is your intuition. And sometimes we just need to accept that I chose 2 things that didn't even look like they would work, and they did.
Isn't that magical when that happens? Some of my best creations I've ever made are things that you don't think actually go together, but they actually do. And you've actually taken a step further. So you may be thinking, okay, I have teas, but you also include an actual tea cup in a saucer that is themed for Samhain. That is so cute. And
yes, the teapot actually is being sold separate, but it's at $6.99. I don't think you can really get that.
Add it on. Add it on. Because this is so cute. I opened this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. You actually can add tea right inside. So all you have to do is, if you have a water cooler that has hot water, or if you boil some water on your stove, all you do is you just put your tea that comes with it right in here. You let it steep for like what, 5 minutes or so, 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would encourage you to steep it according to what works for you. So with the tea bags, it is going to be a lot quicker than with the loose leaf. So there are 2 loose leaves in there, and there are 2 tea bags, and you can take out the filter and put the tea bag directly in there. Definitely.
Yeah, that's great. And you also have a little tea light holder. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's actually got a fall leaf on it, and it's glitter. And it's super, super, super cute. So you can light your candle, have your tea, and then you also have 2 more things. There's more in the box, but I'm only going to talk about 2 more things. You also have this adorable little black cat spoon. It is so cute. And if you guys notice how the paws are, it will actually sit. It will sit. You can hang it on
the side of
things.
your teacup. Yep. Yeah. Or put it in your pocket, you know?
Yeah. Super cute. And I actually have from past boxes, Mario, he does, I've gotten a spoon or 2 from past boxes. And these are great also to mix herbs, to just grab a little bit and kind of make your own little mixture. Super good. And then this also is your spirit detox spray. It's called Crossroads, right? And this, it smells like something I know, but I can't place it. But it's so good. And so this is actually to help you detox, to de-stress you, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's like an aura cleanse. For me, the sprays are like, oh my God, I got ick.
Yes.
I got rid of it.
Really likes the spoon. Freya says totally worth it. And then another thing I want to talk about too is you actually, like we said, you actually give people a tarot card and an oracle card. So you actually give people both in the big box. And so they're actually sealed, which I think is really spectacular. And so I figured we could go ahead and actually open one live on camera. Do we think we should do the tarot card reading, or should we do the oracle card reading? What do you think, Mario? What do you guys think, chat?
I'll let the audience decide.
Okay, should we do oracle or tarot card reading? And so tonight, see, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm getting ahead of myself. But tonight, you know, when I go to do my tea ritual, I'll get my tea and I'll sit down, I'll light my candle, set my intention, sit down with my card, meditate on it, and just, you know, see what it has for me. And actually, it's not just a one and done thing. You actually give people enough to have multiple experiences, because there's multiple teas, there's multiple incenses, multiple cards, right? So it's not just a one and done wham. You actually give people multiple experiences to do this. Tarot. Okay, Marlena says do the tarot card. All right, so I'm going to open my tarot card. Ooh, pretty, pretty. Okay. I've got the 2 of Swords.
Ooh. That's from the Night Sun Tarot deck. And that's what we're featuring for autumn. The Night Sun Tarot deck. Yeah.
And then you actually do a little write-up here. And you kind of give your interpretation of the 2 of Swords. Sorry, my webcam, my lights are kind of blinding it out, but it's actually a snippet, and you give, like, you talk about what it kind of generally means, and you ask some questions, and then you talk about like what it can represent, and then you actually give some advice, right? So the advice of the dead: together opposites can create the balance if they can but see it, and opposite equals can also manifest into creative tools like scissors. Scissors takes paper. So, you know, you think about that, and it's kind of like a little point where you can actually go off on your own meditative process from there and kind of think, okay, well, how is this applying to my life? Where is this that I don't like it? Where is it that I do like it? How can I fix it if I don't? What needs to be done? And where is this kind of showing up in my life, right?
You know, for me, divination, especially with the tarot, is a conversation. And the card the card is an archetype, doesn't matter which, from what card it is. And it doesn't always want to tell you what you should think and what you should do. Sometimes
Yes.
it wants to ask you some really important questions. Because what I have found is that often we're not ready to be told. But when we are asking ourselves a question and we start seeing something, it is a personal discovery, and that's totally different from being told. You get to decide what this means for you. Here's some questions to help you on your way, and then you can decide how that applies to you, rather than someone telling you what it means and how it applies.
Right. So you become your own diviner. You become your own psychic intuitive at that point, and you can kind of lean into your intuition. So I really love that. So
yeah, at Tarot-n-Ritual, our slogan is "You are the seer."
I love. Oh yes, it is, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't eliminate getting readings from people at all.
Right. Sometimes you need that outside perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us, so you have the 2 boxes. So tell us how we can actually purchase those boxes. And after the live stream, excuse me, Mario will actually come in to the comment section, and he'll pop the link down where you can buy the boxes. But you have 2 tiers. Can you tell us a little about those 2 different tiers? You guys just saw the top tier.
Yeah, that was the top tier. There are 2 boxes. We originally started with 4, and then as people bought them, it pretty much told us where their interest was. So we settled on 2. One is the Carnival of Soul boxes that you just shared. The other one is our Boo box, and that's smaller, has a smaller price point, doesn't come with as much stuff. There are some people who says, I don't need all that, I want this, but there's definitely a different flavor to this other box, and it is inspired by Day of the Dead. So there's a lot of sugar skull kind of work with the tea towel. There is a diffuser for the, and that was the little basket in your tea pot is the diffuser. Well, this one is a skeleton crossbones head. You fill it up with your tea, and you put it in your teacup or your teapot, depending on what you're using and how you like to use it. And it's something that appeals to someone who has a different flavor and has a different set of needs and desires. And then, of course, we've got people who go, I need both. And I don't blame you, because I do too. And one's a little bit more independent than the other, so you can add a lot of your own stuff. Of course, you can do that with all of the boxes, but it really depends
whatever one you get the add-on for this, because this is just too cute. I love this.
$6.99. Yes, definitely. So you can go to tarot-and-ritual.com, and let me just clarify that, because I was actually doing it in a video. I was making and I was getting it all wrong and confusing people. So it's the word tarot, Tarot, with the letter N, and then ritual afterwards. So tarot-and-ritual.com. And if you click on our shop link, off in our menu, you'll get to see. And then specifically, there is just, if you want to zero in just on the ritual tea boxes, they're there. You can press on that, and you will see them there. We are actually just redesigning our business, and we have gone through a transformation. Our ritual tea boxes caused a transformation in our ritual tea boxes.
Where else can we find you online? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram, YouTube?
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and those links I can put in for you in the comments section.
Thank you.
Definitely. And we will be starting on Etsy soon. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yes. I'll be your first buyer for both.
And we're also looking to add to our own product line, and that was one of our goals to begin with. But this with the transformation that we've undergone now, it's pretty serious. So we're gearing up to offer our own candles and our own incense, and much of it is centered on getting tea in those things as well. definitely there's some magic about all our plants, plant people, our herb people. There is some big magic there, and definitely with tea, especially with its history, which is a history that's very similar, almost identical in many ways, to folk magic.
Yes. Yes. Well, Mario, I just thank you so much for being here today and having this conversation with me. And we start on Monday, you guys. So when is the opening ritual?
The opening ritual is at 7 a.m. specific standard time. You'll have to look and see how that transfers into where you are at in your area. And of course, then the ritual on Friday, which would be at the end of the live summit, will be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then, of course, most but not all, with the exception of one, the workshops start at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And there will be replays. So if you can't make all of the, I think there's like 10 or 11 or something like that. How many people do we have?
We're going to have 10 workshops.
10 workshops. Okay. So if you can't make all 10, don't worry about that, because there will be replays up to a certain date, and all of that information you will receive once you actually sign up for your free ticket. You'll get it. All of the questions that you have will be answered over there. We can help you in the group. And I just hope to see everybody over there. I will be presenting on Wednesday, the 28th. I'm going to be talking about protection charms with German powwow or Pennsylvania Dutch folk magic. So I just thank everybody for coming. Thank you so much. Freya says, thank you so much. I'm going to try to pop in and say hello. Thank you for all that you do, Mario, and all that you offer. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys in the group. I hope you have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next Monday, bright and early, for our opening ritual.
Thank you, Christina. Good night, everybody. See you soon.